to generate and produce power for the whole country.
Making sense of it all so that you can get a clearer picture.
I've collected 500 billion, and I can only show you the borehole.
It's politics.
For me, it is what I call Iberberism. I beg your pardon. Go and search for it, my friend.
It's current affairs.
4 years course, metamorphosing into 6 years.
And news that affects you.
What an academic academic yo in their leadership rococo, leadership rababare.
It's all the serious stuff,
but with a light-hearted twist.
I'm Sandra Ezekwesili.
And I'm Aghogho.
Join us 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. every weekday.
Right here.
On Hard Facts. On Hard Facts.
Hello, Lagos. Good afternoon. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili, and these are your hard facts.
Shaku Maku, everybody. Shaku Maku, Sandra. After a hard day's work yesterday.
Oh, my God. The first hard fact of the day is that my body is paining me. Everywhere hurts.
I understand you didn't win anything.
That's a story for another
That's
day.
the headline.
But my body hurts. We had a serious workout yesterday. The entire Cool Was Obia Nigeria info
You say
team.
you had a serious workout or you had
serious
a
workout.
shindig?
Serious workout.
I don't
It started with
understand,
aerobics first.
I knew any team called OAP team is not going to win anything.
They let them make mistake. Why would they make us play football and basketball?
OAP team.
Oh,
Look,
God.
when I just saw OAP team, I said, that's a team not to be a part of.
Yeah, unfortunately, that was my team. We were Team D. We started off winning, and then
Say that again. Team what?
Team D.
Ended up in D position.
We're actually last. It sucked. Hey, but we had all kinds of fun. There were all kinds of fun sporting activities. We had sack races, tug of war, blindfolded races, wall climbing. If you check out my Twitter, you see me climbing wall. Omo Aghogho, I climbed the wall. I now got to the top of the wall, and
This wall's what's the height?
I that's not the point.
It's up to 6 feet.
The point is, the point was that, oh God, I climbed to the top of the wall. They said, Sandra, jump down. No.
You know the story of the tortoise that jumped down. You know.
Yes, but I'm not the tortoise. Oh God, they had to beg and pray, and then I finally jumped down. But yesterday I could tell which of our colleagues were professional fence flyers.
So you landed.
I landed in the foam.
You know the story of the guy who went to steal for the first time in his life.
No.
And then he went, and when he came after, he took what he had to steal, and he was happy. He went over the first fence, landed. The second, he jumped. The third, he jumped. When he went to the fourth, 5 seconds, he hadn't landed. 10 seconds, he hadn't landed. 1 minute, he was still.
So it was
in
a
flight.
pit? He fell into a pit?
Well.
Oh, poor guy. Well, this was a well that was filled with the foam, so I was good.
Okay.
But now my body is paying for it. Everywhere is in severe pains, you know. Thankfully, we don't make you climb walls here on Hard Facts. We don't make you jump through hoops here. Aghogho and I are here simply breaking down the facts for you every single day on the most important topics. We bring them to you, break them down, and you can form an informed opinion. And any show you miss from this week, from last week, you can catch on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Nigeria Info FM. We have a great show planned, starting with the big three, where gunmen attacked Jonathan's hometown, while police arrest Shina Pella. CBN says 15 Naira POS charge is for businesses to pay, not customers. And Ono says Nigeria is ready to graduate from manufacturing pencils to industrial equipment. Aghogho, we've got community report as well.
Yes, I'm grinning at the pencil story. Right, so on community report, Chukwudi is at Jibo. He'll also be touching bases with Ojota. This is a transport hub, especially outside the state. People moving because of Christmas and the New Year celebrations, which is already in the thick. And so he will be there talking with commuters as well as with the transporters, trying to gauge the mood on Christmas Eve. And then on the Big Hard Fact.
On the Big Hard Fact, we're talking about education. Remember that series we started, was it last week, where we're looking at the year in different sectors? Well, today, it's the turn of education. We're looking at all the big things that happened in the education sector in 2019. Biggest of them them all will probably be EPs and ASU. We'll have that conversation with Peter Gudoro, who is an education consultant, education sector expert as well. We'll hand you over to Rufai Hussaini at 6:15. And as usual, throughout the show, we're bringing you the latest updates from the world of news, sports, and entertainment. But let's start things off right now with the big three.
This is the Big Three.
The Big Three on Hard Facts.
On 99.3 Nigeria Info.
This is breaking news on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
The federal government has ordered the release of Shogore and Dasuki. This is a report that we are currently getting from the Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami. He made this public in a statement today. He said the decision to release them was in compliance with the bail granted the two by the court. As soon as we have more details on this story, we're going to provide you with them. You're listening to 99.3 Nigeria Info. The Big Three continues in a few seconds.
This is the
Big Three on Hard Facts.
on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
You know what to expect on the Big Three, stories that everybody is talking about right now. Now that the elites are not safe, will they make sure that all of us are safe? Can CBN stop businesses from passing the POS charge to consumers? And is Nigeria actually making pencils? And are we actually ready to make bigger things? Let's dive into that story. Militants struck a military base in Otoke, the hometown of former President Goodluck Jonathan, killing one soldier. Channel CV is reporting that the militants were attempting to steal a gunboat belonging to the military, which was berthed meters away from Jonathan's home. The soldiers on duty repelled the militants, losing one of their colleagues in the process. The ex-president was not around during the attack, but returned to Otoke soon afterwards. He condemned the attack and condoled with the soldiers and the family of the deceased. More insecurity, Aghogho.
Yeah, ironically, yesterday when we had the discussions around security
For the holidays.
Yeah, and even generally, security review for the entire country.
Yeah,
This happened this year. Deliberately left out the Niger Delta because compared to other parts of the country like the Northwest, Middle, North Central, as well as the Northeast, we haven't had cases like this. But for this to happen to former President Goodluck Jonathan, it's like twice. I remember the elections that happened in 2007. On the eve of those elections, while he was vice president, candidate for the PDP then. His home, his country home then in Otuoke was also bombed, I remember very well. And he had just arrived town the day before it happened, and fortunately he wasn't in the building then. So questions to go on about security around the Niger Delta, especially around the creeks where we've had a downturn for a number of years now. So I think the question people are going to be asking, is this a one-off or is this something that will continue? But from the information we're getting, a soldier was killed, we understand.
Yes.
It means the firepower of the guys involved in this is something that will need some further investigation to know how and why this was allowed to happen.
Well, the first thing that jumped out at me in this story is that the military post was a couple of 100 meters away from the ex-president's house, which of course makes sense because former presidents are given military protection for the rest of their lives. But see, even those with special security are seeing the violence and insecurity getting close, very close to them. It raises questions about what happens to the rest of us. And this takes me to something that is happening right here in Lagos, something that's happening right now. Last week we talked about the state government issuing a directive that any nightclub or worship center or event center that is expecting a crowd must coordinate with LASMA and arrange proper parking that will not block the road. Well, apparently a particular nightclub on Ozumbambadiwe did not do this over the weekend, so the state governor came with police and impounded the cars of its customers for blocking traffic. The owner of the nightclub is Shina Pella. He's a member of the House of Reps. And according to his colleague in the House of Reps, Akin Alabi, who is tweeting about it, Pella went to the police station to get his customers' cars released, and he was arrested. According to Pella and Alabi, he committed no crime. According to the police, however, Pella brought thugs to beat them up, and Pella spent the night in the cell as a result of this, but reportedly got bail today. Now, his colleague Alabi was tweeting about this situation the whole time, and people kept saying, now you honorables are seeing what we go through with the police, Abi. Maybe you will do something about it now. And it got me thinking about the Otoke story. It got me thinking about the Shina Pella story as well. These are issues that regular Nigerians face every day. Police brutality, violence from criminals. And it looks like up until now, the political class and those in power have been shielded from these problems. But suddenly, it seems like they're in the same boat with us. It seems like they are getting the same end of the stick as the rest of us. So the question is, will it make them solve the systemic problems? And it brings me to another interesting character in this story. He's always the one that young people call when they are in a bad place with police officers, and he has somehow found himself in the middle of this story. I'm talking about human rights activist and real estate I want to say magnate, Shego Awosoya. Hello, sir. Thank you so much for joining us on Hard Facts.
Thank you very much for having me again, Sandra, on your program.
Yeah, so how are you involved in this situation? You're currently going back and forth on Twitter with the lawmakers from the House of Representatives.
Well, actually, there's really no issue here, except for the fact that politicians will be who they are. They will play to the gallery. They will try as much as possible to benefit from the ongoing political will already created by advocacies against police brutality. But we must begin to make things clear by shedding light, as we always do, and as we have consistently done in the past 3 years of engaging the police. When people try to capitalize on something that is ongoing just to justify something else, we must begin to make clarity so that the public are not dissuaded. We should not encourage jungle justice in any form against any institutions without actually looking out for the fact. When I saw this matter, I saw it first from the complaint or the petition, reduced into tweets from Honorable Aki Alabi, who is known to me, who we've probably talked about these things before. And when I saw that, the only thing I wrote on the tweet was, distinguished, this is being looked into. Because the moment I saw the tweet, I called the people involved, that is the police public office of the police PRO, for the state in Lagos State, to find out what actually happened. And I also spoke to a few people who were on ground at that Quillox place and what happened, in the morning before that time. So I got the facts together, and I was able to I called back to talk to this honorable that, look, Honorable Akin, this is what is going on. You know this, you know that. And I placed a lot of facts before him, which he never disputed. And I said, in the first instance, things like this shouldn't even come on the timeline. Because coming on the timeline means an injustice has been done. And in this case, this is a situation that should not even come online in the first instance. It is a situation of a honorable behaving dishonorably. But let's not look at that. Let us solve the matter amicably and find a way of ensuring this doesn't happen again. But unfortunately, apart from what is going on online, the reality on ground was the fact that a traffic violation was committed by customers of the business that was owned by the honorable that was detained. And he was not detained because of the actions of his customers, who are adult enough, to take responsibility for their crimes against the state, the traffic laws of the state, which is not even a criminal offense, but a bailable offense. So you are marching down to the police station under spiritual authority of intoxication or inebriation to order the police or to bully the police into releasing vehicles. It is tantamount to the disobedience of the law and authority. The closest authority to us today are the police. The fact that some of them are bad, or the fact that they are still being scrutinized by the people, does not mean that anything that happens against the police must be swept under police brutality. Police, there's no record that police beat up this honorable. There's no record that police held him against his will beyond the statutory provisions of law. So there's really no reason to come online and make it and create a sanctimonious situation of police brutality, which is not there. And that's where I am. And the moment we saw this, we intervened the way we would have for anybody, whether you are a legislator or not, whether you are a son of somebody or son of nobody.
Yeah, but I have to ask you, Mr. Awosoya, we all heard the directive from the state government about people parking cars and blocking traffic when attending events. But was it legal for the police to confiscate the cars?
Of course it is. It is a traffic offense, And they were told, under normal circumstances, this was what happened. They were so unfortunate that this is a situation of a recidivist, like a continuous offender who has not even gotten remorse for what he has done against the law. This is not the first time that club is blocking the road there. To the point, at some point, under another administration, the governors will send last mile officials to come and help them out in periods where people are not actually using the road. And under the guise that, okay, by tomorrow, when people are waking up and all these things will have been cleared off the road so that there won't be traffic, just to show this understanding and all. But under another administration, where traffic management is paramount, in their promises to the people, they are not going to they are not going to handle this the same way. They are going to do something that will make sure that this stops. The governor himself was held in that traffic. He had to come down and direct traffic for himself to pass. And I'm sure it was premised on this, that he decided to call the Commissioner for Environment to seal off that property that is constituting public nuisance to the people. And I think that's in the right order. If the governor wanted to have militarized the situation, he would have called the task force. And if the task force are involved, no commissioner of police can even get involved in the first instance. We deal with this situation every day. And we know the difference between task force chairman and CP of police. You can never call police for a task force matter unless you are engaged, you have been engaging task force already before you can intervene on such matters. And we will not intervene, on matters when we know clearly that somebody has actually violated the law. So
All right,
this is what we're saying.
Thank you so much
for them to come online to now make it look as if this is the case of police brutality, I think it is dishonorable on their behalf, on their account.
Okay.
This is not the case.
All right, Segun Omosoye, thank you so much for giving us your time on Hard Facts.
Thank you very much for having me.
Aghogho.
All right. I wasn't going to ask any question because it's very clear. In fact, just to buttress, in planning law, there is what on the law of tort called when you have become a nuisance. So you allow through environmental planning laws to enforce such laws, especially what is quoted by the Ministry of Environment here, which is a public nuisance in terms of the noise pollution. And then there's also something overriding public interest. Segun Omosoye did mention that also too, where the people's convenience is being infringed on because of someone's action. So if the club, for example, says we're going to be having activity for 3 days and in your plan did not provide parking space for your clientele throughout these 3 days to the point that it's spread to the expressway, not 1 day, 2 days this has happened.
36-hour party.
Yeah.
That's what happened this time.
And so the police investigated and found the source of this public
traffic
nuisance
violation.
to be there. So they were in their right with how this has happened. So every other thing that's put along the way and all the drama, throwing the kitchen and the sink at the police, nobody's going to hear that. Everyone's going to say, what was the cause of this? Which is the
traffic violation. So let's bring you into the conversation, because if this is happening and we have our lawmakers in the middle of it, and we take the police side of this story, will the Nigerian political elite ever work to fix the country and enshrine rule of law if they believe that they are above the law? 01277 0993, 01277 1993, 01277 2993, and 01277 3993. We have to take 3 calls only, but when we get through our final 2 stories, you can call us and talk about all the 3 stories. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Shaku Baku.
Hey, Bakushi. What's your name, please, and where you calling
My name is Isaac. I'm calling from Pestac.
Isaac, go ahead.
Yeah, on this Pillar issue, I know that I have a different view from what the Honorable would have spoken here just said.
Okay.
All right.
You see, there are so many things that have been hindering traffic and free flow of it over the years in Lagos.
Good.
Is it because the governor was stuck in that traffic yesterday that are taking this Oboh against the guy? There are so many things that are causing traffic in Lagos. Right. Lagos is a very sensitive place. What has the governor done? Every day I travel from my house to the island every day. 5-6 hours I'm on the way, especially when I'm coming back. Containers. I've turned the whole road to parking space in Lagos State, but nobody is doing anything about it.
You have to commend something when you see that it happened. I'll give you an example. You stay in Festac, not very far away from you. A couple of years ago, you had what they call the garden parks all around Amowo Dolphin Estate. You know that place, right?
Yeah.
You know why they closed all those places there? Because it become nuisances. Every Saturday, no one could drive past the new bridge of Festac towards Mile 2. And they locked everything up. Now life is easier for you to transit from Festac to anywhere you want to get to.
I totally agree with you.
Good.
But the menace of these trucks now is staring at everybody. We don't have to search what the problem is.
One step at a time, huh?
Israel, thanks for calling us. Hello.
Hi, Sandra.
Good afternoon. What's your name?
My name is John, calling from Festac.
Welcome, John. Go ahead.
All these Festac people, eh?
So on this issue, yeah, when I first had, I was actually driving past when this thing was going on. That morning. In the past, I've come to work from the mainland, and it's crazy. Not within during this period. In weeks past, months, you see in the morning on Monday you're stuck in that traffic.
I see.
And it's a club, and you're trying to get to work.
I see.
For me, I've been really kind of angry several times because I feel like it's wrong. That if you have an existing, you should create some form of space for your client, or at least control the traffic. At least get involved in controlling the traffic. For me, I think it's okay what has happened. At least we'll begin one, like what Aghogho just said, one after the other, we'll begin to get things right in this country. I think what happened is okay.
Okay. Thanks for calling us. Final call. Hello.
Hello.
Turn your radio off. Okay, sorry about that. Let's move on to our second story. The Central Bank of Nigeria has said that the 15 naira stamp duty charge on POS transactions is for the business to pay, not the customer. The CBN announced this as part of a new set of directives to banks and other operators. Apart from this, as previously reported, ATM withdrawals will now cost you 35 naira, not 65 naira. That's the new directive from the Central Bank of Nigeria to all banks. The CBN also ordered an end to card maintenance fees. Failure by any bank to comply will incur a 2 million naira fine on each infraction. I, for one, am happy about that card maintenance fees matter. Because every time I'm wondering, what are you maintaining? Card with inside my pocket, what do they maintain?
But on a serious note, I'm not too sure whether I'm happy or I'm sad. It's like I'm just being a part of Ichoku. You know Ichoku, that old court drama?
Yeah.
You know, when they say one thing and then the master, he translates another thing. I think that's what probably may have happened here. To imagine that after several months, they come out and say, what has happened is that they transfer this fee blatantly and openly to the consumers. This is very wrong.
What happened
This is
was
after the horse has bolted. Why wasn't this out earlier on in different?
Exactly.
In Pidgin, in Yoruba, in English, in Hausa, in the dialects of the places where this is being implemented.
And there's no consistency,
all of this confusion.
There's no consistency.
I don't know
either.
whether by next month this card maintenance we will have another explanation saying this is what we actually meant to say. So every time I'm reading, so I'm wondering at the end of this where they say, so the merchants can transfer the fee back to us, and you wouldn't even know. So what's the big difference in it at the end of the day? Maybe just a matter of semantics now that 15 naira they transfer to the cost of the final product.
And my
master, you can go on.
My reservation about these things, Seth, is that when businesses are assessed a tax or a fee, they pass it on to the consumer. If they cannot pass it on directly by listing it as a charge, they will pass it on indirectly by raising the prices of their products. Exactly. So let's say, for instance, that the product was 12,450 naira before. They now cannot charge me POS fee, Abby. Okay, they'll simply raise the sticker price of the product to 12,500 naira. We know that it will happen. Who is going to hold them? It will not happen. I ask, okay, so now you look at the ATM withdrawal fees, right? And we can understand a little bit why they exist, right? The way our system is set up, bank networks talk to each other through NIBs. So if my account is with Bank A and I go to use Bank B's ATM, before Bank B can pay me, it must confirm with Bank A that I have money in my account and then ask Bank A to send the money to Bank B. All that communication and transfer is done through the NIBs network, and NIBs charges the banks for it. So there's always a cost. The question now is, who should pay the cost? Should it be me or should it be bank? Be my bank, or should it be Bank A?
I still don't understand how they're able to value these sort of things. It's like your experience, and a number of people who've told me about when they misplaced their SIM cards. These guys made us to go wait for several hours and days, blocked our line, say we're taking biometric and pictures. Meanwhile, it was smiley selfies we're taking most likely. And then the day your SIM gets lost, you go to there and they say, go and bring an affidavit.
Uh-huh.
I say, why couldn't you look into your system and check out for my biometric details? So you're asking yourself, so what is the real cost of this technology at the end of the day?
You know why I was asking that question earlier?
How do you
on?
arrive at that amount of money?
I was listening to Tunji Andrews, right? And he made a strong point today on the Money, Business and Economy show. You need to listen to MBE, by the way. It's on every morning, immediately after the morning crossfire. It's the best way to get a better understanding of things in the business world and in the financial world. But anyway, Tunji made a point. He said that when a commercial bank asks you to bank with them, they're telling you that they can meet your needs as a bank customer. And one of your needs is ATM. If you are forced to use another bank's ATM, it's because your bank failed to have an ATM in that location. Right. So in that case, if there's a fee for using another bank's ATM, shouldn't your bank, who failed to give you an ATM, pay it for you?
Right.
That's a question that was raised on Tunji's show this morning. Right. And it's one that I've said, you know what, let me transfer to you guys for listening to
That's
Hard
why I
Facts.
make sure that I use my ATM with the bank. Even if it's in Karuna mode, I will track there and use it here.
So do you believe that businesses will pass this POS cost to consumers by increasing their prices? And what do you think about Tunji's point? Should your bank pay your ATM fees on your behalf? You know, if you're a banker or you are a bank worker, call and educate Sandra about this card maintenance fee thing. Why does it exist? Huh? And then what do you think about the CBN cutting ATM charges from 65 naira to 35 naira?
Card replacement.
Meanwhile, final story. We have the capacity to graduate from manufacturing pencils to manufacturing spare parts for jets. That was the point made by the Minister for Science and Technology, Oboh, when he visited the Project Development Institute, PRODA, in Enugu. PRODA is an industrial research institute. It's owned and funded by the federal government, and they were the ones that ONU gave the mandate 4 years ago to look into the development of pencil manufacturing capacity. ONU said he's satisfied with PRODA's progress with pencil making and now wants them to move on to non-ferrous materials like aluminium and stainless steel, which in turn can be used for producing industrial equipment and spare parts for planes. ONU pointed out that it was never PRODA's job to produce pencils in commercial quantities, but only to conduct research into pencil making technology and share the techniques and other knowledge with the private sector. Aghogho, people have been making graphite pencils for almost 500 years. Why did we need to spend 5 years and millions of naira conducting research into pencil making?
It's my question, right?
Your question.
As a product of a University of Technology, I'm embarrassed by this statement saying that not in commercial. I mean, that's what we did in school, research. We worked for several years on the lathe machine, producing things like spanner, screwdriver.
500 years ago, that's when we figured out pencil.
So we already know how to do this stuff. So I'm wondering why
years.
he says, and it's cool. Several millions of dollars we spend in important pencils, so we must well start to go in the commercial quantities business right now rather than stay in the research. The research is done and dusted. We've gone past that for many years. You'll be shocked that he probably go 100 years and we already knew how to make pencil 100 years ago. So maybe it's good for the CV and say, while I was Minister of Science and Technology, we did research because that was the easy part.
Pencil
and
making.
They just show you one case study pencil. But we need more in commercial quantities so we can put that $350 million into Nigerians' pockets.
I asked you that
Case
question
closed.
because of PRODA and the nature of the role of PRODA. PRODA was set up to conduct cutting-edge research, Aghogho, that can allow Nigeria become a leader in new areas of manufacturing. The idea is that some areas of manufacturing are very difficult to get into because the needed knowledge is very hard to get, right? So you need to pump money into R&D, that's research and development, to learn how to build these things. The pencil is not really one of those things that is difficult to learn how to produce. So again, it's perplexing that PRODA is putting money and time into pencil research, like I mentioned.
Well, the good thing is that he's left. So he's saying that we're done with the pencil project. We're moving to making aircraft.
Why did we go there to begin with?
So you can put it on the to-do list. I
We're
have done
capable.
this, so we can do the next one. So that's all they're going to be doing now, not producing in commercial quantity. Right.
01277 0993 01277 1993 01277 2993 and 3993. What do you think about 3 stories on the big Big Three today. Do you think that the CBN can stop businesses from passing the POS charge to consumers? And who should pay when you use an ATM, the bank or you? Now that the elite are not safe, will they make sure that all of us are safe? Remember, we told you about what happened in Jonathan's hometown, as well as the arrest of a lawmaker who owns a nightclub here in Lagos. And is Nigeria actually making pencils? And are we ready to make bigger things? Hello.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the Big Three. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Rafiat.
Rafiat. Great.
Yes.
Rafi, you called on Colin's program, right?
Yes, I do.
You're the one who's saying that you're waiting for people to start their Christmas by not cooking anything, right?
By not cooking anything? Me? Yeah, I mean, they're going to bring food for me now.
All right, forget. I hope you have some more maverick responses to what we're discussing on the Big Three.
Yes, for the ATM charges, I also listened to Tundi's show, and when he made that point, I felt it was very valid. If I'm banking with you, shouldn't you be taking all the extra cost? Plus, there used to be a time where there was no any charge on this ATM thing, where the bank's really losing money. Somebody needs to do the research and let us know. When we were not paying for, because I know there was a time when Sanusi was there that we were not paying for this transfer of you having to use another ATM. And it was like that for almost a year or so. Were the banks really losing anything when that was happening? Why did the charges have to come back? We have to know why that is happening, because it's not really very nice when you have a certain amount and you have to have 65 naira cut off because I have to use another bank's ATM. And for the security, I don't want to sound like a bad person, but maybe all of us are not safe now. Time to make sure that, now you would believe that there is really something going on, and then we have to overhaul the security. I was really surprised when I heard that news about the former president. He's the former president. If he's not safe, then come on me, I don't know what's going to happen. So I think we have to overhaul the system and just do something. For the 15 naira charge, I think this is just another way for things to go up. Because as soon as it was announced, it thing just went up. If it was supposed to be a reduction, it probably take time. But as soon as it was announced, everybody started to charge the 15 naira POS charge. I don't know how they're going to. There's not enough information. Like, you give this information, you don't go around, you don't explain it, and the common people don't understand. And I go to a place, I'm already there, they say bring 15. I don't want to be embarrassed. I just pay and I leave. But effective communication is very necessary with all of these policies. Nice policies, yes, but how well does the layman understand this? Is what's important.
Big questions, Rafia. Thank you so much for calling and making these points. I always love talking to her. Unfortunately, we're out of time, but you can get on Facebook and share your thoughts on this story with us. Facebook is Nigeria Info 99.3. Tweet at us if you want as well. Nigeria Info FM, that's our Twitter handle. If you want to tweet at us personally, you can tweet at Ezekwesili or Aghogho Oboh. Coming up, let's take you to Jibowu. Are we going to the market or are we going to the park?
We're going to find late travelers, the ones who refuse to travel early enough, and now they're going to hit them with high prices.
Let's see how the travel is going for them, because Chukwudi Ezugu, the caretaker general of Lagos, is out and about.
Hard Facts will be right back.